Okay, so look, we can blast through this pretty quickly because essentially the story here is that this has been pushed out by a council in partnership with a university. I don't remember which one, but it's a council in the inner west of Sydney.
This logo is horrific.
Isn't it? Who has partnered up with the university, and they are offering council-funded anti-racism bystander training. So this is basically teaching people how to spot racism. Because
from the periphery,
you might have missed it. It could be happening right in front of you, and you might have missed it. You need us.
Well, it was happening right there on that podcast. I called it out.
That's right. You need us to teach you how to spot it, and then what to do about it, how to intervene and become an insufferable cunt.
Did you just drop the C-bomb?
I looked the other way from the microphone though, so it doesn't count. But
guys, he's see you next Tuesday.
But to become one of those people, right? Who's like, I need to step in here and save you because you're the victim of racism. You might not have even realised it yet.
And that's
I'm
what I mean.
I'm going to come and save you.
That's why I played the Jen Psaki clip because that's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
I know better. I, as the white person, am able to spot the racism. You, person of colour, you don't actually know it. Because inner city, inner West Sydney is full of migrants.
Yeah, correct.
And so this is like the only people that will sign up to this are white people.
So
that's what I find so funny.
This is being done in particular targeted at the parents of students.
Yeah.
And so I have to wonder why that particular targeting. I don't have an answer to that.
Anti-racism literacy.
Yeah. So literally they are going to train you. This feels like something out of the TV show Utopia or out of The Office or something.
Dealing with discomfort.
Yes. They're all going to sit in a room and learn what racism looks like and how to get over themselves and their discomfort in order to be able to step in and be the white knight that saves the day for some poor victim of racism. And this is what ratepayers' money is being spent on. And this is a pilot. So if this goes well by whatever definition, then this is going to get even more money.
This is just indoctrination, but I summarise things quickly here. So like you said, it's a pilot including 400 participants in 25 to 26, parents, P&C members and council staff. And the curriculum includes exploring racial identities, dealing with discomfort, which sounds very ambiguous, understanding racism and the law in Australia, recognising racism, bias and privilege, and acquiring skills to confidently call out racism in the workplace.
Yeah. So
what could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? So we literally have wrong-think indoctrination going on. And this is happening in the context. There's a story that crossed my path. I haven't decided if I'm going to do anything with it yet, but there's a long-time library employee who resigned recently, was basically bullied out because of his political views and the fact that he wrote for The Spectator Australia from time to time. And what we're seeing here, these sorts of programs are the programs that create an atmosphere of closed intellectual, no room for debate.
Yeah.
We have decided what these things are.
The science is settled.
That's right. And if you want to be in our environment, if you want to be, if you have a student at this school, this is who you need to be. If you work for our council, this is who you need to be, and closes down all forms of intellectual debate and all forms of intellectual.
It's a form
inquiry.
of segregation too.
And what it does is it creates this culture in which you can't be questioned. These have already been settled.
Oh no, it's worse than that. It becomes really insidious because you're community policing then. Oh well, no,
right.
that was a microaggression.
Yeah.
That was microaggression. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that was what do they call it? Like mild racism. What was the term? Micro racism. Whatever.
They've got.
I don't know their terms.
But this is now taxpayers' money, ratepayers' money is being spent to create this kind of an atmosphere.
I wonder what their rubbish collection's like.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Be interesting.
I believe that the local government should be abolished.
So this is an interesting one because people have said to me many times, states need to be abolished. We should just have federal and then your local council, which takes care of your rates and your rubbish and your footpaths and that sort of stuff. I disagree. I think that we should create so many states that local councils become irrelevant.
Yeah, I'm anti-local councils. I believe we still need states.
Yeah, there is a if it was just purely about administration and roads and footpaths and parks and rubbish collection, then fine. That would be a lot less bad than what we've got right now. But what we have is a situation, and this is really bad. So my brain's going in a million directions. There's so much to say about local councils. Once you get elected as a councillor, you come under the code of conduct for your relevant state, which effectively gags you.
Yes.
You as a councillor cannot actually effectively criticise your own council.
Yeah.
You are the person best placed to see how things really work. But if you speak up, you're actually in breach of the law. And there are councillors currently undergoing corrective actions.
Yeah, we
particularly in
talked
Victoria,
about this.
Councillor Paul Barker being one of them. This is a real and serious problem because there is a lot of corruption, there is a lot of graft, there is a lot of waste and inefficiency happening in local councils. But because of the way the councillors, anyone that gets elected into council for the purpose of reforming or improving any of that, the minute they get elected, they become ineffective.
Yeah.
They can't move.
Do you know what this reminds me of? You remember when all that hoo-ha was happening with Jordan Peterson? They're like, he needs to go and have social media training or he was going to lose his
registration. His certification, yes.
Yeah. It's the same thing. It's like, hey, you've been elected, now you will adopt what we tell
correct.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to tie you up in knots. So probably the only solution is to abolish local councils. That probably is the only solution. But I do agree that we need something more local than just the state because, for example, in Victoria, the vast majority of people are in Melbourne or in Geelong.
Yeah.
In New South Wales, the vast majority of people
representation in your electorate.
Are in Wollongong, Sydney and Newcastle. And so all the decisions are being made with one eye on how those people are going to be affected and how they're going to vote, which means everyone else gets screwed.
Yes.
So we do need to decentralise our states. I'm in favour of a Riverina state. I'm in favour of splitting Queensland, splitting WA. There is no reason why we couldn't have a dozen or more states in Australia. There's no good reason to object to that. And such a system.
I would agree with that because I kind of like how the American system works. And there's a lot, I mean, I don't want to talk about American politics because I know that's not for everyone, but just looking at some changes that the Supreme Court is looking to make in the coming weeks. Have you heard about this?
Don't know.
So there is, I'm going to mince the words and to be honest, dog, honestly, go away. There is there's a case of with the Supreme Court in America at the moment talking about racial bias in many districts in the South. So
this is to do with the gerrymandering of districts, congressional districts.
Yes, so they're heavily weighted that saying that minorities votes should count more, therefore they get more weight in certain districts.
Not quite, but yes, how they draw their boundaries around the districts has been done along racial lines for the purpose of essentially what they try and do is they try and get the Democrat ones to have 51% Democrat and the Republican ones to have like 80% Republican.
Yeah.
So that means that actually the state as a whole could vote overwhelmingly majority Republican, but because they were concentrated into a small number of seats, they actually don't count against the distributed Democrat vote.
Yeah.
So if you have the power of drawing those lines, you can basically dictate the outcome of elections.
Which is what Newsom's trying to do in California at the moment. Yeah. And it'll just be interesting to see this because if you want free and fair elections, then you can't be having rules for thee and rules for me, you know?
And you can't have a system where the person that draws the boundary lines, and some of them are crazy shapes, like these are just nonsense little ribbons of things with other seats all around them. That's absolute bullshit. That is an attempt to undermine democracy. That is a literally attempt to hijack democracy. The calculations at the moment are basically that I think it's in Florida that's currently under the actual court case. I think it's a Floridian court case. I'm not 100% sure.
I thought it was with the actual Supreme Court.
Yeah, and it's with the Supreme Court and it will affect the whole country.
Yeah,
But I think the court case itself came out of Florida.
Okay.
And I believe the prediction basically is if the Supreme Court decides the way that they're widely expected to decide, Democrats are dead. In Florida, forget it. Because they shouldn't even be competitive at the moment. The only reason they're competitive is because they've done this nonsense with drawing these boundary lines the way they have.
And it's certainly the case with a lot of inner city areas of Australia as well. Like look at the Greens, the Yarra Council, like these little enclaves of progressivism, and they hold far more weight than they should. And even with Melbourne right now, not to bore everyone with Melbourne politics because I know you all roll your eyes, but these little councils, and like Nick Rees, who's in charge of the Melbourne Council and things like that, they're pushing their own agendas. The local council's job is, rubbish collection, keeping the sidewalks tidy.
Yep.
And these people are talking about rolling out anti-racism.
Well, was it the Marybeck Council had a resolution on Palestine?
Yeah,
it's like I'm sorry, guys, you're a little bit too big for your boots there, I think.
It's astounding to me. And meanwhile, the ratepayers like, hey, like we're just trying to get some stuff done here.
So normally on a podcast like this, when you've got two people, one of them is the brains of the operation and the other one's the eye candy. In this case, I have to be both, which is, oi, excuse me, this one's, Carly, this one's about me. I have to be both.
It's actually about me.
Seriously, I have to be both, which means I need lots of coffee, lots of caffeine. So you can help me to get lots of caffeine by scanning that little QR code there so that I can just carry this podcast on my...
And subscribe because I'm ridiculously good
Seriously,
looking.
Carly, can you not... Wow. She's such a center of attention, isn't she? Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Bye.